Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Alan Rosen.
Welcome to CAD 118 and our weekly Zoom classroom meeting. Alrighty, so here we are in our advanced AutoCAD weekly Zoom classroom meeting. We hold these meetings on Thursdays at 11 a.m. We've updated the calendar of upcoming events. Module 5 is due this Sunday at 11:59. And then Module 6 has been released. And since this is a holiday, if this was a week ahead, we've pushed this to Friday, April 14th, to give you a little bit additional time if you're celebrating the holidays. And then we have our next module, Module 7, also released so that if you'd like to work ahead, you can do that. As we look at Module 6, we're looking at solid editing commands, working with solid faces, solid edges, and solid body manipulation. And so we'll work with what they call sub-object editing to create these different components. And we have 3 drawings required for Module 6, and then we have 3 bonus modules or 3 bonus assignments that you can do. We've color-coded the assignments, and so if we take a look at this first video, we have this architectural taper handle exercise, which we'll use practice exercise 6-1, working with sub-object editing and extrude commands. And so as we go through, we'll tie the textbook readings and curriculum. Remember, AutoCAD is different from SolidWorks or Inventor in that it doesn't have a menu tree or a tree, a command structure tree. And back when those programs were coming out, AutoCAD, rather than to add that or change the software around, just developed different softwares. And so AutoCAD is an excellent drafting tool for basic solid modeling, and it's kind of the low-cost solid modeler. And so the techniques that we work with AutoCAD are not the same as we would work with some of the newer softwares like Fusion and SolidWorks. But with that said, AutoCAD is very reasonably priced. And if you're a company that doesn't do a ton of modeling, then to be able to work with the AutoCAD software is something we see quite a bit. And so we go through, we have these solid shapes, and we go through being able to set up the interface. I like to use toolbars for modeling, and so I'll go through and show some techniques for adding those. And then we'll demonstrate some techniques as well, like being able to extract the edges from our solid models. And then I demonstrate the difference between surface modeling and solid modeling. And so we want to make sure that we create what we call boundary shapes. And so we'll create a region out of that extracted edges of the solid. And then once we have that region, we'll be able to extrude that with a taper. And then we do the same thing for the other tower. Unfreeze the layer for the extrude path. And then again, we go back in and we extract the edges, and then we extrude it along a path to be able to complete that component. And then as we continue on, we start to work with more sub-object editing in 3D snaps to be able to add these tapered edges to the existing solid models. And so it's different. You use Control-Click to get that information, and then we'll set taper faces, move faces, what they call sub-object editing with AutoCAD, and it's different. And we looked really hard to find a good book that would be able to help us communicate those learning objectives. We put everything on a title block. I realize it's a bit more work, and students might say, well, hey, do I really have to put it on a title block? And these are vocational skills. We want students to realize that the blueprints that we're creating lead to making the actual parts and spending money to produce those things. And so title blocks are important. The names of the drawings are important, and the dates that they were created are important. And so we want to make sure that we update the title block with the appropriate information using our B-size mechanical title block. All righty, back to the main splash page. And then we have our other videos for the other required assignments. Here's practice 6-2. In 6-2, we go through more sub-object editing. And so we'll download this file and we'll demonstrate how you can move and copy solid faces. And so again, we talk about sub-object editing, Control-click to be able to move the location of these features, and then working within the AutoCAD command structures to do that. And so as we go through, here's our model. We can Control-click on that whole feature, give it a 3D O-snap as a base point. Have to make sure they're turned on and that they're activated. So you want to know how to make sure that your drafting settings are set up for 3D modeling. And then once we have those set up, we can create those sub-object editing techniques, like moving this whole location. And then just as in the other drawings, we'll put these on title blocks. Fill out our title block, turn that information into the D2L assignments folder. Alrighty. And then finally, we have our third video where we do more sub-object editing. And so we'll delete and move solid faces. And so we'll delete out these slot features and be able to move those faces with the delete faces command. Control-click to be able to get the sub-object. There we are. As you can see, it starts to highlight and attach to those. And you have to use your navigation tools, like being able to use the view cube to work within 3D space. And so it may take you a little bit of time to be able to gravitate to that. But from what I can see, students are doing quite well with these different assignments. And so, again, the AutoCAD way of solid modeling, and AutoCAD was really the kind of leading software back when CAD was developed for desktop PCs. Again, put them on a title block, name the labs, put your name on it, turn it into the assignments folder. And so those are the 3 required assignments for that module. If we go back to the main splash page, and then we take a look at module 6 under content. Here's our module 6. Here's our learning objectives. Here's our 3 required assignments. And then here's 3 additional bonus assignments. And so we'll work with the bonus assignments to be able to revolve and rotate and color solid faces, work with different extrusion techniques to be able to extrude things along a path, like on this handle for this drawer, and to be able to extract the edges, and then to be able to work with shelling and to be able to separate solids with intersection Boolean activities to create these other models. And so the practice models are right here for download. And then we have teacher videos just like in the main splash page. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. And then we have teacher videos for each of those. And then there's some other information on other solid modeling editing from our old textbook that's kind of there as an additional resource, because we want you to have the tools to be able to independently learn some of these other techniques, as this is an asynchronous online course. All right, and so we have module 6, it's ready to go. Module 7 will be releasing in the near future, and you're welcome to work ahead on that. With the holiday coming up, we have everything laid out in a calendar of events for when these different modules are due. And with that, we just wanted to make a announcement to remind you that we do have support for students as we get farther into the course. Al, do you want to talk about that? All right, so I can talk about that. Remember, we have student support on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Fridays virtual on Zoom, and the other dates are in person at the Skokie campus at these locations. Just give us a heads up if you'd like to come in. And we have been getting students that come in. And so if you are one of those people who's like, gosh, I'm so busy, I just need a little bit of time to figure this out, come in to the Skokie campus, and we'd be happy to work with you to help you get these projects worked out. All righty, go back to the main splash page. I'm going to stop the recording and post it and open things up for questions.